Okay, Shalom.
Shalom.
Before we start, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, the middle taught us this truth, and who rule well. And peace and citations be unto you for the brothers, you Akim, to also push out this word of truth, sincerity, and faith, and as well as to you faithful listeners. And let's do on this lesson. We're just going to be bringing out precepts on the topic of being an Israelite inwardly. All right, and the inspiration of this video came from just speaking on this topic as well from this past week in camp. How you have camps out there, all right, other camps, other groups of Israelites that also know that they're Israelites, but what they have that outward appearance of being a, quote unquote Hebrew Israelite, but what inwardly by their works we know that they're not doing it at that fullest extent or in sincerity and in truth, like brothers also say in their videos. So you can get the first precept.
Yeah. Romans 2. Romans 2, and I'm gonna start at 28. Yep, Romans 2:28. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of the Most High.
But the point was in those first two verses, man. All right, he that is a Jew outwardly, and mentioned a Jew that is one that is a Jew inwardly. All right, and obviously when Israelite, essentially. All right, you can just replace that word Jew for Israelite. Okay, so in today's time, we know that here in Great Millstone, that's why you see a lot of standards being set in Great Millstone, because ultimately the standard, we go according to the scriptures, like men of the Lord ought to do. That is doing the will of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai inwardly. Meaning what? In sincerity and in truth. All right, because that's what we were speaking on during camp. Have the garment, because you have a lot of brothers. You have a lot of brothers come up to camp saying, "Yeah, I have my garments, I have my fringes." But again, like brothers have said before, but do you have it in your mind? That's what's most important. All right, because that's where it starts, really. Like how the fear of the Lord, it begins where? It begins in your mind. You don't show it outwardly, so to speak, in appearance or in your vestures.
Yeah, there's fringes. So remember the law, statutes, and commandments. So okay, so you got your fringes. So, but do you have the spirit? Is it in your heart to sincerely serve the Lord out of fear? That's why like you said here, Apostle Paul, he said, I'm going to read it again, Romans 2:28. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, right? Mm-hmm. So it's about your spirit. That's why, the scriptures talk about the inward man being renewed day by day, because it's not about the outward appearance. I remember I had mentioned at camp, brothers mentioned it over again. It's not about having a beard that hits the skirts of your garments, but it's about serving the Lord in sincerity and truth. Of course, you're going to keep the law to the best of your ability, but, the greater your garment looks doesn't make you more righteous. How is your inward man? Are you serving the Lord in truth and in sincerity? Are you preaching the 100% truth? Because if you're missing parts of the truth, then you're missing salvation.
Actually, yeah, good point to add on as well. All right, because it shows that also through your works. We're gonna know them by their fruits. Loosely paraphrasing, we know that if you're obsessed or you're cleaving onto, or if you're worried about a certain image of yourself, hey man, if you do things like that and you're just tramped on that, the garment, which way you look or how you sound towards the people. Hey man, let's be honest, that doesn't sound like you fear the Lord, man.
But instead like to be seen of men.
Yeah, but instead worried about what people think, man. That's idiotic, man. And if I can get this is Jeremiah chapter 5 and 31. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means, and my people love to have it so. Mm-hmm. And this is in the time of Jeremiah, showing you Romans 15 and 4, right? That if you look in this time, the time of Jeremiah, rather than the time of the coming into the time of the Babylonians being over Israel. All right, but during that time, you had priests. You had the elders that were looked on as being righteous men of the Lord, but the majority of them were wicked. The majority of them were the majority of them were Jews or Israelites outwardly, not inwardly, man. Meaning they weren't bearing rule in sincerity and in truth.
Yeah, they were wicked on the inside.
It's like it said it says that they bear rule by their own means. They weren't bearing the rule according to the word of the Lord. But the only one that was doing so was who? Jeremiah. God, Jeremiah wasn't in that estate of that high estate, so to speak, You know, him too. He as well also had what, the garments of sackcloth. You know, that may not be looked as calmly, but guess what? The Lord was dealing with him, and that's ultimately what we're looking for, to be blameless in the eyes of the Lord. So with that, you have what? You have to be an Israelite inwardly, first and foremost. You know, on this side.
Because when we read the book, brothers read the book of Jeremiah, he was rebuking those that false prophets. You know, telling Israel to what was going to happen, prophesying. You know.
To go against the Babylonians. That's what they were doing, which was totally against the will of the Lord. But Jeremiah knew, he had the understanding, right, to prophesy of what, just to surrender to the Babylonians, man. You know.
Yep.
They didn't listen.
I got a scripture, Romans 13, and I'll just read 12 just to hit the points. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness. Now those men that do wickedness, they're not casting off the works of darkness. The false prophets, you got got these startup camps that are brand new, whose heads are have razor sharp lineups, but they got the cuffs though. They got the Hebrew, they got the cuffs with the Hebrew, the diadems, and the most amazing looking garments. But this is what they don't have, because they're committing the works of darkness, and it says, and let us put on the armor of light. Exactly, which that's a spiritual thing. Okay, you put on the armor of light by putting on basically putting on the scriptures, putting on Yahweh Shai, man. The scriptures say what? Put on thy beautiful garments, Jerusalem. Or Zion. I forgot what it says.
Tassels.
Yeah.
I forgot the. I was thinking about that. The word tassels. It's trying to look ancient worldly, but hey, look, we're not in that time right now.
That's what it's all about with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just playing an image, man.
Yeah.
When it's all about what, teaching our people, what, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, what, to return to the Lord first and foremost, and to prepare for the times that we are coming in. They and as a matter of fact, concerning prophecy, what, they mix up the doctrine. It's not a one-way doctrine, man. Not one truth. Okay. And said that, and hey, some of these camps, even though they learned and still follow that same manner of Great Millstone and our apostles and their teachers, they don't give double honors. You see, So again, they don't do these things out of sincerity and in truth, and that's why you have to beware of these people, man. That are Israelite, that is an outward Israelite.
Mm-hmm. Two more verses. Mm-hmm. Romans 13:13. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting, drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying, which is what these other people do. Not just other camps, but people that aren't in the know in general. Verse 14, here's the point. But put ye on the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which Yahweh Shai comes in the volume of the book. When you read in Timothy's, I think it's 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, it speaks about how, all scripture is profitable, right? It also speaks about that instruction in righteousness, because the scriptures let us know how to get right through the Spirit and how to be instructed in righteousness. So it says, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof, right? Which these other people, that's what they're doing. These other Israelite camps, they're fulfilling the lust of their flesh. We don't even got to mention it. It's just wasting more time. To mention every single work that they're doing to fulfilling the lust of their flesh, So, you want me to get John?
Mm-hmm. Next precept, whatever you got.
Yeah, this is the book of St. John, chapter 4, verse 24. No, I'll start at 23. But the hour cometh and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. Mm-hmm. For the Father seeketh such to worship him.
Yep. If I can make a point on that, because what the Lord himself also seeks those men. That's not part of my language. That isn't bullshitting, man. Essentially, the Lord is looking for ones that are willing to die for him, man. Just like the same manner like Apostle Paul said, man. How he's willing to die for the name of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai at Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. Not to be bound only. Mm-hmm. So things like this, works like this, and that all comes from the inward man. And that's a whole other thing, man. About what the inward man. Being what your true true spirit, that the true
who you
true
really
you,
are.
Yeah, who you really are at the water. All right, and then not being just an outward fad. Whenever I think of the word outwardly, I think of the word fad, a trend, something
fashion
that's trendy toward people. First it was Wakanda, all right. First it was Moors, now Hebrew Israelites. That's not what it is. That's not what it's about, man.
Yeah, because if I can make mention, that's the same thing with these like celebrities and such. You got, and we go and name names. Nick Cannon, Brandon T. Jackson. False prophets, man. Like all it is with them is carnal things. Mm-hmm. Because whenever they speak about this Israelite thing of ours, they don't mention they're not really being spiritual. You know, it's always something outward. You know, like I remember Nick Cannon and some other bozo were talking, and then they were like, yeah, they took our culture. Now I can't wrap my head. Now I can't put on it. And it's like, that's all it is with them. All it is with them is the carnal aspects of the truth. You know, because they're not seeking salvation. They're looking to look cool for the women, because that's what it all goes back to with you niggas, man. You know, trying to look cool for the women, and it's not about the spiritual things that matter. You know? So,
Keep reading.
yeah. Verse 20, St. John 4:24. The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth, if I could say.
Mm-hmm.
Because what? To worship Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you got to do it according to the way he told you to do it. Okay? Yes, we have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, but you think that you're not going to get delivered. You think that when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's not going to beam you up like, oh, this nigga don't got on his fringes and his border of blue, man. Oh, well. Can't save him. No, man. You know? But guess what? He's going to beam up those that have it in their heart, that have it in their mind, man. You know? Ultimately, those that are, because the elect, you know, it all goes back to the elect. They have that in their heart. They have the sincerity and truth, you know, in whose spirit, you know, there is no guile, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read it again.
Yeah, also if I can... Yeah, no, so lucky. Go ahead.
St. John 4:24. The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
There's there more?
That's it.
Come on. Yeah, because, yeah, that's actually the point. I was actually going to mention that as well, because essentially where that comes from is Israelites still clinging on to the law, thinking that's what's going to save them, you know? But what do we teach? We teach that, of course, it is by faith, but also in conjunction with works.
Yep.
You know, but work is not where it's at. You know, it's a balance, man. The Lord is a power of balance, whom we serve. All right? Yeah, like for example, right now, you don't see us on camera, but what we have, me and this brother, we have our garments on, you know? We don't have, under the proper order, right? But the thing is, again, it's in sincerity and in truth, all right? That's why it's a certain vibration that, brothers in Group Millstone and other brothers that teach alike the same doctrine, it's all under the same thing, you know, in sincerity and in truth, all right? Because, again, you can have, like I read in Jeremiah, you can have those elders, right, that are looked on as righteous, but they're not righteous, man. Behind closed doors, they're not being the Israelites that the Lord wants them to be, all right? Mm-hmm. But is that the last precept?
Yeah, did you want another one?
Yeah, I was looking for the one in Ezra where mentions he shall be delivered by his works, if you can find that.
Oh yeah, second Ezra the 9th chapter. Mm-hmm. I can grab it. Second Ezra chapter 9. Oh, Salak, I'm in first Ezra. Salak, bear with me. Second Ezra no, second Ezra 15, I believe. 15. Nope, it wasn't.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, man, even when
I found it, Salaki.
Yeah, if I can mention as well, even though at the end of the day, when Jacob's trouble and at the height of our salvation, again, it's not going to be the fringes that delivers you, man. In those times, we're not even going to have our garments, you know, our purple flamboyant garments, you know. But instead, what we're going to have, Isaiah 33:6, all right, that the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, and as well as the holy name of the Lord embedded in our minds.
Yeah, because that word is ultimately going to be our covering. Yahweh Shai is our covering.
You know? Beautiful. Yep.
Second Ezra 9:7. And everyone that shall be saved
That's precept.
And shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed.
Mm-hmm. That's the point, man. We're hereby ye have believed. All right. So, and also that belief comes with, yeah, I'm truly an Israelite. I believe that I'm an Israelite. I believe in the Lord, and I've done what He asked me to do. And during that time when I was able to, I took advantage, so to speak. And that's why during Jacob's trouble, your garments is not going to save you. Your diadems, like the tassels, you know. Again, it's not being an Israelite outwardly, man. Not looking like you're a Levite priest that you know. That's essentially the point, man. So believing in the Lord, sincerity and in truth, you know, being an Israelite inwardly, man. Because that's who the Lord is looking for anyway, you know. Those that seek Him in sincerity and in truth, you know. So Lord Williams was edifying. You know, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash.
The honors to the apostles and elders of Millstone, the men who teach and were well, and peace and salutations be unto your fellow brothers. You all came to also push out this word in truth, sincerity, and in faith. And with that, everyone say shalom.
Shalom.